Hey, this is Cutting Down the Nets. Back to regular format, back on U.S. soil. It's good to be back, but it's also good to get away from negative 10-degree weather to 83-degree weather. But college basketball marches on. Only like 4 or 5 more Sundays until Selection Sunday. It's getting good. So, and we're going to need to run good here the next few days because some of those hot days from last week are going to start to fall off, and our rolling average is going to get beat up a little bit. So, going to be a lot of options today. Where I go on this stuff, I don't know. The hardest thing was making my final pool because I think it's going to change a lot, and I'm curious to see what these lines will do. Maybe I'm rusty from all the tequila. But Auburn and Arkansas, I'm just not going to do anything with this game yet. I'm favoring the Arkansas side, which is scary. Oh, it's scary. But few reasons. One, Arkansas is playing very efficiently despite not making any three-pointers recently or really for the year. So, man, if they could ever just hit some perimeter shots, man alive. Um, so here's the deal. It's 2.5 points right now. KenPom has 4, so I think it grows, and I would bet that game as late as possible. Shot quality has it fairly close, and the Arkansas offense just not there yet, but close. So showing a little bit of value. Need more points. All right, LSU and Texas A&M shows as a play for me. Shot quality LSU 49, Texas A&M 41. Look at these teams shot quality wise. Their offenses are 94 and 89. Their defenses are 22 and 23. It just is what it is with these teams. I think it's situationally neutral, which is tough to come up with in an LSU game because LSU's lost so many games recently. But Texas A&M on a cold streak themselves. So you have two desperate teams here. Aggies are at home. I know there's been a lot of LSU hate. They've been in an auto fade for me for quite a while. And has the hate gone too far? Honestly, I don't think so. They're just the hate was due to we think this team is too lucky and it's going to run out, and now it did run out and they're not playing well. Big turnover advantage for Aggies here. I think both teams get a lot of offensive rebounds. Yeah, it's good enough for me. Moving on. Marquette, UConn. Big shot quality disparity here. Everything suggests Marquette's just running hot. We've talked about them on this program, if you call it that. But look, a lot of freshmen, new coach. I don't know. But in this game, UConn has a big rebounding edge. UConn's just been super inconsistent lately, which makes them hard to project. That's why this game's yellow and not green. So I have shot quality issues. I have UConn's predictability. UConn obviously has a ceiling. Ultimately, I'm just not sure I can swallow this shot quality difference, but I keep sitting out Marquette winners, and I think I don't know. Gotta decide what to do again. But yeah, I have Marquette by 3, and they're getting 5.5, but a lot of risk there in that game. This one's under my possession, but I'm highlighting it because um, I think the pendulum swung a little too far against Wisconsin. So look at shot quality. Wisconsin 21, Michigan State 40. Wisconsin obviously, I think matches up well with Michigan State. I mean, these stylistically are very similar. Shot quality has Michigan State with 5 more losses and Wisconsin with 4 more losses. So it's kind of the battle of the overvalueds, but it's just because they have such gaudy records. I mean, it's not like they're bad basketball teams or anything like that. Just tad overvalued. And I think Michigan State's a little more overvalued than Wisconsin at this point. A few weeks ago was the opposite. Wichita State at UCF. Shot quality edge here actually to the Shockers. There are turnover concerns on both sides, and in the first game we saw that. There's 28 combined turnovers. Both teams 40% plus 3-point rate, so likely comes down to perimeter. So a bit of a high variance game there, but give me the more efficient team lately, and that would be Wichita State. Utah State and Wyoming showing as a small play on the Utah State side, but I'm not swallowing that shot quality difference, and I'm just not going to bet against Hunter Baldonado like ever again. So I learned my lesson. God, it's frustrating because I know better. Kentucky, South Carolina shows as a play here, but laying double digits with the blue blood is not something I really like to do. Syracuse, Boston College. This is tricky because if you look at Syracuse's last few games, I mean, unsustainable from 3-point range. But I think the story's on the other end, where Boston College is one of the worst jump shooting teams in the country. They're incapable of making jump shots, and you know that Syracuse is going to bait you into that. So, not showing a whole lot of value there, but I like the game from a matchup perspective enough to bet a road favorite, which is hard for me to do. Cal State, Fullerton, and Beach. Um, Big edge, shot quality to Fullerton. Both teams have a lot of wins lately. Like they're both quote unquote hot. I don't see any matchup edges, so I think that shot quality difference is enough to just keep me away from that one. East Carolina and Tulsa. Teams are about even in shot quality. The ECU offense has absolutely cratered, but they're still the 128th ranked offense according to shot quality, so suggesting a bit of bad luck there. Um, yeah, I don't think I can lay 5.5 with Tulsa. But if that, the reason I list is KenPom's 4, so like if that gets down to that number, now we're talking. Missouri, Vanderbilt. Mizzou 120 shot quality, Vandy 82. Mizzou hasn't been winning games, but they certainly have played far more efficiently. And I think if you look at the last 10, 12, 14 games, which is what Paddy is focused on, it's a different team than the first month when they got blown out every single night. But big turnover concerns for Missouri in this game. So I think we could call Missouri a high variance game or high variance team at this point in the season. Fordham at St Bonaventure. I personally have bet against the Bonnies a lot this year, which I did not anticipate happening, but they just have not played efficiently, and it's like the market will never catch up. But had good luck playing against the Bonnies with teams that can shoot, and Fordham is not that. So it's a tricky one for me because it's showing so many points of value um, using Paddy's numbers. But just matchup wise, you gotta be able to hit jump shots against St. Bonaventure to make it happen. So I'm gonna play it, but a little nervous about that. Marist and Monmouth. Shot quality has Marist with 3 more W's and Monmouth with 3 more L's. Quite a few games lately for Monmouth that they've actually had a worse adjusted defense than adjusted offense, which is not a good sign. So I see value there, but it's tricky when you're only getting 8 and you're betting on a bad team. Marist isn't any good. Yeah, you fall behind in that game. It just feels like it's 6 to 10 points like the whole game, and it's like, okay, we need a run. So not sure. Eastern Michigan and Buffalo. I think the pace scares me away from that. Like there's going to be enough possessions that, yeah, I don't want to back Eastern Michigan. No. Akron, Northern Illinois, that shot quality difference is super scary. 313 versus 117. NIU's offense in 332. So this is just shown because Northern Illinois has not played as poorly lately. But, yeah, not going to back them there. Pacific USC, this is a tricky one. So shot quality is Pacific with 5 more wins and USC with 3 more losses. And I've mentioned that USC is an overvalued team at the moment. We're getting 20 here. But size-wise, Pacific has like 2 dudes over 6'5", and they don't play all that many minutes. And that's a big problem against a big team. So regression says Pacific. Recent efficiency says Pacific and I'm a little concerned with the size. This Western Michigan Miami of Ohio one is showing as 7 points of value, and the reason is if you look at Miami of Ohio's defense the last 7 games, super shaky. Like adjusted defensive efficiencies in the 120s. So when you have one side of the ball that bad, and it's I mean they're giving up a lot of threes, but yeah, that's part of the game. So when you have one side of the ball that bad, then even when squaring up against a bad team in Western Michigan, it's really bad. It's just hard if you're using like a 118 defensive efficiency projection for Miami of Ohio to not show as a play on the other side. So I don't think I play it because I don't think I can back Western Michigan, but just trying to give you some insight into like why that would show up as a play. All right, so I hesitate to even show this today because I'm just not sure where I end up, and everything will be on BetStamp when I make the wagers. But I like the Texas A&M side against LSU. KenPom is 3. I don't know if there's enough LSU hate left to drive that number down, or if it does creep up. I mean, Texas A&M has lost like 6 or 7 straight games too. So I'm just trying to get the best number there, and I'm not sure what that is. Wichita State plus 1.5. I like that one. That is on the road at UCF. They've just been more efficient lately. Syracuse minus 3.5. I like that due to Boston College's inability to hit jumpers. Fordham plus 11.5. I have concerns in that game, but it's showing as enough value for me. Missouri 7.5. It's okay. Wisconsin 4.5. It's okay. Marist 8. Feeling nervous. Pacific plus 20. Feeling nervous. So I'm gonna lock in a few tonight. I think Syracuse for sure, Wichita State for sure, and I'm gonna monitor some other stuff. So if something moves and kind of comes into play on the spreadsheet, I'll call that out. I'll handicap the game if it like comes into a bettable range for me. So that's the welcome back to Minnesota portion of the show. This is Cutting Down the Nets. I'll have the spreadsheet linked in the description of the video. Let's win some bets.